I'm a very pure scientist. As I said, I'm very bad with money, not only at work, but at home as well. So seriously, I feel like, up until COVID, I thought I would finish my career at a high when my science is going well and just retire and enjoy life, right? And I have the sort of career goals of what not to do. And there are two things: not to develop a vaccine and not to open a company. So COVID kind of break these both records in a positive way, I have to say, right? So so I told Duke and yes, we need somebody experienced in this, and then Temasek was involved as a founder, and then they say, we have a top candidate, but we're not sure if we can get her. Initially, they say we can reveal the name, so it's kind of exciting in the sense that they said that there was a very successful business person who used to be a scientist. So I thought, that's incredible, I cannot do that, so that's how we started, here.
A molecular immunologist, my background, and I've gone to one of the best labs in the world in Japan, and I finished my PhD with one of the best immunologists in the world. Well, doing business, I guess, is my DNA, as I mentioned. I think it's something that I'm born. I mean, I talk very naturally, I know, and I enjoy meeting people. I enjoy looking at businesses and growing them, and because of that, I mean, actually, about 20 years ago, I started my first company. I've actually founded Veritas, and so I want to tell you, for a relationship like this to be successful, I think there must be the very basic mutual respect.
Sure. Yeah.
So what I have to believe in a strong relationship between a CSO, which is strong in science, and a CEO, who's supposed to be very strong in business, is to be respectful of each other's capability.
Yeah.
So we're able to understand and look at your perspective, or each other's perspective, and understand at that perspective how the business can be successful and how can we move forward despite our flaws. Not because of our strength, but despite our flaws.
Sure.
And the understanding that it's not a perfect solution, but we will try to make it perfect.
The first is that, I said that I'm not interested in commercialization in my career, but there were opportunities that people would come to us talking about form a company, So usually I think it's so commercial driven, and then for me, I don't know that, as a scientist, how much I can contribute. So the language even is different. But in this case, I think the two things made a difference. One is that you had a PhD in immunology, as you say, so you understand, my language. And secondly is I think this company is formed and triggered by a pandemic. So I think that also makes a difference. It's a very unique kind of marriage because this is a marriage of as you said, you will try to eradicate the future variants
circumstance
and to prevent, another pandemic. So, as a company, commercial survival is important, but in this case, making money kind of is not the only goal. But in this case, I think we got more than we bargained for because we have the founder knows more than just funding, and we have a team member, from both your team and my team now is part of this CovBio.
Right.
And that's incredible, I think.
I agree.
Yeah. We have two major investors, right? Not only Temasek, but I have Polaris. Personally, I feel like, it's really important to have Temasek and later evolve into ClavystBio on board for CovBio because they are helping me and maybe the company, in twofold. One is that really the funding part. But more importantly, I think is they know the landscape and they know how to connect and how to approach. So I think through them, I have been, and you now is expanding, is connect with so many biotech companies. So to me, I think ClavystBio plays at least a dual role, not a single role of a founder.
Yeah, absolutely right. And I feel that ClavystBio has built a community and an ecosystem of which we are part of, and what you call as a very beginning part of this whole big journey. And we are so excited to be with them.
So I always say that my dream is for CovBio, to have this international impact. with a vaccine or therapeutic monoclonal antibody, which is made in Singapore, so it can be sold to Western society and the Eastern society.
Yeah, so Linfa, you're very, very right, So actually what we really want to do is to really hold hands with global partners. And it's not just holding hands with, technologically with the universities and the institutions. And we are really interested to hold hands with the big pharma. And even the pharmaceutical companies that are starting up. We are not looking at you as being a small pharma, and we're not going to collaborate with you. We want to collaborate with people with great mindsets. We want to look for people with similar mindsets. So we want to build a global community where we can hold hands, and there could be collaborations in R&D, in manufacturing. So with that, I would say that global expansion, one thing is not just on the R&D side, but it's also on the business development side, because we do have a lot of options for product development. And also for licensing, cross-licensing, sub-licensing, and then doing registration together.
To mitigate the current pandemics and hopefully prevent the next one.
That's right.